got a pretty reasonable explanation for it, but
Okay.
so we're in the nexus of the universe here, right? And I was not sure. I figure other realms isn't something that even a very knowledgeable wizard like Chomsky would have much knowledge of anyway. Like,
I mean,
there's not a lot of
the vague idea that they might be
Yeah.
existent is something you might.
But this would be a place to learn it.
But there's no, there would be very little to no information exchange about, details about any of these places. So
Yeah.
Chomsky wouldn't, I figured Chomsky would not have ever heard of this realm or know of items from this realm or anything. Ravnica is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But there's, I feel like Chomsky would feel like researching a thing that might lead him to this item that Jordan the player knows exists in Ravnica, but because it's based on an ability that Chomsky does have, his I forget what it's called, but it's his chaotic casting, where he casts like a random spell.
Yeah.
I don't ever use because it's like, why would I just not? know what I'm
I
gonna
played
cast?
a wild mage back in the day, and that's pretty much all I cast.
Yeah,
It was totally random every time.
Wild magic tables. Yeah.
So if Chomsky was looking to develop that ability or wanted to research a way to focus it better or something like that, it might lead him to a Mizium apparatus from Ravnica.
Well, here's the thing.
Are we
Yeah.
going to Ravnica at any point?
Not that I know of, but
One of
There's
those
a lot of
doors.
stuff here in Sigil.
that's what I'm thinking.
Uh-huh.
Anything from other
But I
realms
didn't want to
probably
metagame
made
it
their
too
way
much.
here.
Like, Chomsky's
Yeah.
looking for this very specific
then
thing from this other realm that he doesn't know exists, but I feel like he could inquire around and
Well, you might have imagined it.
He might just come upon it
You had an
going
idea
into
of
a
this.
store.
And
Or it's
Lo and
from
behold, it exists.
it's from a guild of like magic scientist experimenters
Oh, no,
in
we spent
Ravnica.
15
So
years there as
if
a
he's like
guild.
looking for that type of thing, he might get directed towards
Something. Someone.
how do portals work? Said it's not. They don't always open up the same way.
Portals, yeah, they don't. And well, some of them are.
The will
There
of
are
the player.
portals that are. Well, are you asking as a player or as Circus, I guess?
Player.
Yeah.
No, not. Player.
Yeah. I mean, basically, portals. And you all know a little bit about this anyway, on a very basic level. But portals can be permanent and always open at the same place, depending on how they're cast and maintained. But they can also. The same portal could always be a portal. The same doorway or window or large, opening of a kettle could be a portal, but open to different places. Or it may be a portal sometimes and not a portal others, or a portal, the same portal to the same place may open on one end in different places over time. Like it's complicated. And all of those types are here in Sigil. So,
The kettle one sounds like really fun.
or really anything that, like, a bracelet you put your hand through could be a
Yeah.
portal. And your hand just disappears into another dimension.
Oh,
or
man.
plane of existence.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So anyway, when we left off,
I hate to be nosy,
Yes.
but do you have any water in that one?
there is lemon
Awesome.
seltzer water.
Thank you. Yeah, since the refrigerator just started getting cold, everything is warm in it.
I don't want to.
It should be a lemon seltzer water.
Okay,
The
yeah.
will of the person, maybe.
Yeah. They're quite nice.
Thank you. I've never seen.
I was saying the will of the person could potentially affect portals. I'd imagine
That too.
anything's possible in this place, but
I mean, it depends on how it was set up.
These are really good. They're
Yeah, I
better
like
than
those.
the
They're from
Kroger one.
They're from Publix.
Yeah.
did you watch Dune?
Yes.
So I didn't understand his visions, but I understand them now. Basically, like he sees all possibilities at once, right?
Mhm.
So his emotional state
changes his future.
what he sees.
Yeah.
So like, well, I don't want to spoil it,
Oh.
but yeah, it affects what he sees.
How was Dune? Did you like it?
Oh, I liked it.
It was, especially if you read the books, it was very good.
I read the books, but it was a long time ago.
And they only finished half of the first book, really.
Only half? It's a long book.
It's a long movie.
Yeah. How long?
Oh gosh, it was like 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like
That
that.
might be longer than I
Are
was
there
hearing
other
that
plans
noise.
for?
Oh yeah, and they've already greenlit the second part, which will take it through the end of the first book.
Which did not have until after the release of the movie, which is annoying.
Yeah, I thought they were shooting both at the same time.
They should have.
That would've- yeah.
2 more years or something like that.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
when we last
I don't
left
wanna
off,
derail
the party was just in a sigil after going through the Hall of Information, getting a quick rundown by an imp who left you on the doorstep and promptly slammed the door in your face. You found a trader on the street that was selling both maps and map-like brochures that it seems that when you asked would show you how to get someplace. One of you asked for a brochure and map of how to get to Arelmil Trollcoat, who is the artificer or smith that you're looking for. Another, well, that was Zibil, asked for a map to the Temple of the Sun God, because there's got to be one somewhere in town. As well as you asked for a general map of the city, which is in 2 dimensions, even though it's a very 3D city, as it's on the inside of a ring and has a curvature in 2 different directions, 2 different axes. In any case, that is where we left off. Looking at the map really quick of Arelmil Trollcoat, it does show a basic path to get to him or her in the lower ward of the city. The dot on the map does not seem to be moving. So you're not sure if this map is like, live updating or if it just showed where they were at that second. What do y'all want to do?
I think I remember, wasn't that person, the smith, the forge person, in the zone that we were directed to that would be good for, there are a lot of us, what do they call them, prime?
Yes.
Primes go and we could find like a place to stay, or that's where all us primies hang out.
Yeah, you were directed that there's a lot of primes who end up in the lower ward.
Alright, remind me what a prime is.
Prime is somebody from the prime material plane,
Okay.
as opposed to a planar
Yeah.
who might be from the outer planes or the demi-planes or...
Okay.
People, primes are the prime planes are like the normal planes.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
we recognize.
That we would recognize as like planets or
as you
regular
kind of
old space.
You kind of got the feeling talking to a couple of locals now that the boring plane.
Yeah.
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 Regular, normal, comfortable planes.
Normies. What do y'all want to do? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on around you. This part of town looks fairly nice. The cobblestone streets are clean swept. The buildings are mostly not falling down. There's some that look under construction, some that look like they're being torn down. It seems like that's happening in a couple different places as you even look kind of up around the ring as it starts to go up. There's streets that seem to lead in almost every direction and take odd angles. And
Do we see a tavern nearby?
here in the clerk's ward, you don't see one.
Roland's just thrown up. He wants a beer.
I can tell you right here in the clerk's ward, you do not immediately see a tavern.
Alright.
I need to rotate my map a couple times. Give me a second. There we go. All right. You haven't asked any questions though. There are a couple of taverns mapped on the map that you
Alright.
got. Like
Are
marked
we
on it.
near any of them? Because didn't you throw up?
I did.
We probably need a drink to get ourselves back together. We can carry it with
I'm
us.
having trouble even telling which way is up around here.
Yeah.
It's very.
Irrelevant.
That's a good way to look at it.
Just thinking about it.
You need to just push that thought aside.
Yeah.
I didn't throw up, so
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Eating and drinking in this place. Might want to be in the lower wards for that because looking around at what we're seeing, I don't know if we really eat and drink the same thing. If you know what I'm saying.
You are. That does have a point. Anything alcoholic would be good right now.
well,
As you're
y'all are
saying that,
gonna
like-
throw up like from just standing there. Maybe we shouldn't be anywhere where it
I'm
would
not-
be increased hostility.
I'm not raising my eyes above about
Yeah.
Low
this
horizon,
level.
low horizon. As you're kind of saying these things, you see a full-on just like fire elemental just walk by.
Yeah.
Right? Catches the sleeve of somebody's coat on fire. They just kind of pass out. Keep walking.
So I looked at artwork about it. I better understand.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So it's like this is like where all the buildings are, and it's like a big fucking donut.
Exactly. You're on the inside of the outside of the donut, and there is no outside of the inside of the donut. Yes, so you can see across to the other side of the donut.
Some people go this ways.
This way.
Yep. There's a spire.
You also be able to fly, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure about this place. Well,
And yeah, what do you want to do?
I'd say
You have no idea which way around the curve is the closest way to the lower ward. It looks like there is a shorter way through the hive ward, rather than going all the way through the market ward and the ladies ward and the clerks ward and the I forget all the names of the wards and the guild hall ward.
Well, it seems like we heard from at least one source that the hive was not the place we need to be. That would just be unwise, and I don't. I'm totally cool with taking that advice.
As you're going through this, several people just kind of give you looks because you're just gathered kind of in the middle of the
Standing
street.
in we do. I do feel like we're getting kind of eyes made at us, and maybe we should.
Totally tourists.
Yeah, maybe we should.
We need to play this off. We're gonna be a
Get our thumbs
prime
out of our
target.
asses and
Yeah.
look like we got a reason to be doing something. So I'd like, it would make sense to go ahead and get to the lower ward and find this guy and maybe get lodging or
Yeah.
a strong ale somewhere.
Yeah.
At the same time, Chomsky feels like going and finding books and cool stuff.
exactly
and
where I am.
Just go to the bazaar and
Yeah,
just
I
look
would
at
like to go to the bazaar and go through all that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's all bizarre.
fabrics and textiles from other dimensions and
Yeah, I mean-
crazy.
we don't know when we're going to be back here. We should do some sightseeing.
Well, first let's get a place that we're gonna all meet up.
Maybe we should head to the. Gotta do the boring, responsible thing first.
Yeah.
Because I already know what I'm doing. Just what you said, and I don't need to sleep. So you all do whatever you're gonna do.
I have a feeling a lot of these places are 24/7 or whatever type of schedule. I think a lot of these places are open from peak to anti-peak, or whatever the times were.
He's a quick learner.
It's almost like we've been here forever.
Or never been here at all. I don't know.
All right. So
All right. Yeah, we got this map to the lower wards.
you want to try to go the quickest way?
Not through the hive.
That is the quickest way. Otherwise, you got to go through the market ward, the ladies ward, or first the guild hall ward, and then the market ward, and then the ladies ward before you get to the lower ward.
Oh man.
Do you have any idea how long this
The
would
ladies ward is based on the things you heard about the Lady of Pain. You're not sure if you want to go through
Ah.
either.
Yeah.
That's the seat of government here in the city. Also, the seat of punishment.
Maybe we should go
through the hive.
I don't know. I don't like to think about the seat of punishment.
And also, you know, walking right through the guild ward and the markets and stuff would be hard to just pass all that good window shopping and
Yeah.
information gathering.
We can come back to it. But I am curious, how long, do we have any idea how long it would take to get to the, lower ward?
There are no distances marked on the map you got. Nor is it very easy to gauge distance in the city here. Fairly quickly, more than a couple blocks looking on, things kind of angle up a bit.
It's real hard to.
Like, not a lot, but a bit. And then it's very hazy as well. And so you can catch glimpses of, bits, as the curvature goes on, but it's really hard to tell.
It's really, really huge.
It could be, it looks like.
And also, I feel like having not a lot of straight lines to places. It's like
Yeah.
you might think it's over there, but a curved line gonna take a lot longer to get there. And
Yeah.
If only we could fly.
I mean,
There's also the fact that right now you're in kind of a little bit of an opening, kind of a square in front of this government building. Looking out in places, you can vaguely see that in other places of the city, the buildings are packed tight, and with like hardly any room in between them in some places. So it could also be just hard to find your way.
I guess we should just head there.
lower ward
Yeah.
Yeah.
via.
And if for whatever reason it takes so long we can't get there, then maybe we can find a spot and we'll just leave in tiny hut in an alleyway or something.
If somebody just bumps into it. Oh, sorry.
So you want to try to get there through the hive, or
No.
because
It doesn't even sound like a place I want to go. I don't even need to have any knowledge. It's called the Hive.
yeah, and the buzz around here is that the hive is is just crazy. It's crazy.
As you're talking again, several other odd characters have walked by. A large, what looks like it might be an automaton, but about 15 feet tall, with kind of green glowing eyes, kind of walks by and gives a look over at the metal child with y'all, and then keeps walking. just like this clank, clank, clank.
So let's see.
I mean, you would think they would have like short distance teleporters around here.
I was kind of wondering about rickshaw taxis.
Make a perception check, see what you see. I'm just describing what's gone right next to you.
Yeah.
So.
I can. Yeah. I can count that as a 10 because of my dice rolling thing. 13.
I mean, it's easy enough. You're in a fairly well-lit part of the city, and it's not too hazy right now, so you can see the hand in front of your face. You've seen people on different things, horses, things that look like horses, things that look nothing like horses, things that look like giant cats, several different types of carriage, one that seemed to float along with something pulling it without wheels on it, just kind of... some of them look like they might be for hire, but you're not sure. But they're around.
So, we go find a ride.
Yeah, let's
You said
try.
you saw some rickshaws or some carts.
I saw some carriages that float above the ground. There's that big cat over there with that person, with that humanoid on it.
Or the cat bus.
Yeah, the cat bus.
Yes, something like that. I'm gonna say more like Battle Cat, but yes.
I guess we could check on that. Or we could maybe just ask, like, what's the most efficient way?
Yeah. Is there like a carriage, or is there some sort of something that looks like that has a driver who's just kind of like sitting there, looking like they're waiting for?
We could ask the map guy that we bought the
Rides
maps
or-
I was
from.
gonna say, just ask the most
Yeah,
efficient
sure.
way to lower ward.
You're standing kind of off to the side of the map guy cart.
We're not fooling anybody about our
Oh yeah.
situation here.
I mean, we're sitting there with maps.
They already know.
You're like
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's ask the map guy.
You're a bunch
Yeah.
of Japanese people in Times Square right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
All right, I'm gonna walk back over to the guy we got the maps from and ask him, is there a some sort of public transport system? Can we get transportation, a ride to another part of town?
kind of sort of interject, and I'm
Okay.
like, what's the most efficient way for us, normies, to get to the lower ward?
Safest? Does that include? Is that implied with
Okay.
efficient?
Good point. What he said. Efficient and safe.
The gentleman looks at you. It looks to be humanish, at least demi-human, and kind of cocks his head a little and is like, the lower ward. Now no respectable cabbie is going to take you there, all the way. In any case, you could get to the edge, maybe.
Can we find an unrespectable
Oh,
cabbie?
I'm sure you can. I don't know if you want to trust them though.
You just
But
told
on the
me
edge of the
you
ladies, they'll take you to the edge of the ladies' ward at least, or near enough. Now, I mean, the quickest way, if you're going from here, you could walk almost as fast as you could take a cab that way if you went through the hive, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's still close enough to peak. You're probably going to be all right.
You're buzzing on this. That's what I hear.
Well, so
Buzzing. I mean, it's.
I'm simply to ask, like, hypothetically, if you were a prime, would you rather go through the ladies' ward or the hive?
They give you a strange kind of eyebrow up look, and then they spit on the ground and say, "Yes, me. I just wouldn't go to the lower ward."
Good. Yep. Fair.
Okay.
They seem a little bit just frustrated with you at the moment, but they say the closer you get to the hive, if you ask around, there's going to be somebody who can give you better directions, or maybe even guide you through. I wouldn't give them all the coin at once, you know what I mean? But
I think we would. I'm not sure how long. I think it would take us way longer to get to lower ward if we went the long way. I think it would take us longer than the way would suggest, with distractions and complications. I think, we'd end up doing something else and not making it there. So, if we really want to get to the lower ward, yeah, I guess finding some better directions through the hive. Probably all right.
the map seller kind of nods and says, kind of gestures off to their left and says, "That's going to be your way around, the quickest way on foot to get to the lower ward. Be aware, can't tell you exactly how long it's going to. Some days it's more, some days it's less. That's just the way the cage is. It's not always the same size. And something you thought was there last week might not be there again this week. Just be aware. Some places are more long-lasting, but others not so much. The hive may be the worst part of this."
Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it.
This
To
is for
your-
you guys, because
to
I would
you-
just go to like a place of knowledge
No.
and just hang out.
Oh, I want to.
Place of knowledge. I mean, there's that all around. You just came out of one. It's the Hall of Information. I mean,
Yeah, but
it's only the official information. You
yeah,
understand.
it seemed that was like the boring information.
But even if in the hive, there's gonna be information there. If you can find quakes, that's a good place to get information.
Quakes.
You have to. When you see it, you'll know it. It may be there, it may not. I can't really give directions to that one. Or if you're going to the lower ward, there's lots of the Friendly Fiend, for example. It's a good place to get information. Just watch yourself. Or any of the taverns. There's supposedly more than 30 somewhere in places in the lower ward.
Tavern crawl.
Yeah.
For anything that your heart desires, there's going to be something. But again, just be careful. When they said the friendly fiend, that jogged something in all of your minds as the little brochure map that you got to where a rail mill troll coat was. That was where they were marked. Was near the friendly fiend.
What is the friendly thing again? Tavern?
Tavern where we.
They did not say if it was a
No, they
tavern.
didn't say. Yeah.
Oh,
If it was a
sounds like
place
they
to
said-
get information.
It's an
I
actual
mean, that's also a
fiend.
tavern.
Well, no, but some
With a
bookstore for
smile.
them.
You have seen more than one fiend walking by of different types. I mean, you were given instructions coming out of the government building by an imp.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. As well as their supervisor was a werewolf that was in werewolf form. So, which is not a fiend, but still weird. There's no moon here, so it might just be stuck that way.
What was it? The what fiend?
The friendly fiend.
Friendly fiend.
I like the alliteration.
And then Quakes was the other place, which was in the Hive, which is apparently hard to find.
Refresh my memory because I'm old. What exactly is in the hive that we're so not wanting to see?
You're not sure, you just know the name, and that it seems to have a bad reputation.
Is there any place in town that has a good reputation?
I mean, from what you've heard, the Market Ward sounds great. The Guildhall Ward is mostly, it's all politics.
Oh yeah.
The Ladies Ward is where the power rests in town. I mean, every ward would probably say they have the power.
As a player, I read about the guild and how you say it's different.
Uh-huh.
Basically,
Yeah, the guilds.
yeah,
all
they're
the-
just
yeah.
philosophers, different.
yeah.
It was very interesting. Very interesting.
And everyone in town is part of one of the guilds.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
In any case, piss off. I got other people trying to sell here, and as you can see, somebody else has now just got kind of pushed out the doors of the hall of information, and is kind of just looking around. One of them, like it's a group of about 4 people. One of them throws up on the stairs.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scooting off
Is
to
it
the side.
difficult to walk? Is this difficult terrain with vomit all over the
Yeah,
ground?
because it
I mean, no. As you
disgusting.
watch, there's a little looks like a pixie that kind of flies over and,
What a
with a
lie.
mop, and yeah.
As we walk by, I'm gonna be like, first time in the cage. All right, let's go to the hive. Let's go to the left.
All right.
Alright.
Moving that way, around the larger circumference, circle of this thing.
I know it might be futile,
Yes.
but I am going to try to take notes
Okay.
of like maybe names of stuff and
Okay.
try to do some kind of map that might not work, but either way, I'm gonna try to orient myself to this place.
Okay. Make a survival check real quick, just to see how you do getting oriented. Because even in the city, there's wayfinding.
I guess I'll just roll it once and see if that's a 1, so forget it. I don't even have to bring up D&D Beyond right now.
I mean, looking around, it's disorienting. But luckily, as long as you keep going the same way, block to block, there's mostly streets that go in that direction, even though they kind of veer off one way or the other towards one rim or the other.
I can still take notes of like names of things, right?
Oh yeah, you can
Know
still
what they are.
Keeping notes of things is easy enough. Let me see here.
So
There it
finding
is.
the places.
I mean, you find yourself like you cross a street called Crystal Dew Lane. You see this big, at one point, large building kind of rear up on your right, which looks like it probably is some stadium of some kind with a sign that is in a couple different languages. Reads Civic Fest Hall. So there's stuff you can see, for sure, as you come along. The going seems slow, like it almost seems like you're not changing position based on other things you see on the ring. But eventually you find yourself you realize you're getting somewhere as very slowly the buildings start to look a little shabbier. Like it's not the nice kind of square, clean government-looking buildings anymore. It's more like you come into some residential neighborhoods and then into what looks like it might be, I don't know, like lesser offices and things like that. Anybody else want to be doing anything else while we're walking along?
Are we still in the clerk's
Yeah,
ward?
you're pretty sure you're still in the clerk's
Yeah.
ward.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me. I'll probably do it again.
Let's see.
I know.
That's usually how it goes.
I know. It sneezed 3 times.
That is the number.
My grandmother sneezed 13 without fail.
Gosh.
Oh.
That seems
But
time
they
consuming.
were very ladylike sneezes. They weren't loud.
Oh,
Exactly. 13 times.
I spent nearly an hour sneezing, but
Ooh.
just hanging over the toilet, just
Oh, that sounds
No,
miserable.
thank you.
not dainty at all. It was messing me up.
At some point, you realize that Zippel and the metal child are no longer with you.
I bet I know where they're going. They had that map to the temple.
Yeah. But will they know how to catch up with us? Well, we know where to find them.
I mean, they knew where we were going, but eventually, I don't know, we might have to leave a note for them somewhere.
Yeah. If not, we just go to the temple.
Or
They'll
maybe
be
do
there.
we have a communication ring with them, maybe?
I don't think they do.
I mean, it's within 1 mile. So as long as they don't
Yeah.
go further than that,
I don't think they have the ring.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty sure he doesn't.
We'll figure it out.
You can talk to his mind, right?
No.
No? Damn.
That's,
That would be awesome.
if it was unlimited or at least
Yeah.
longer. It's 30 feet.
Yes, like the endless sight. Whatever, why you have to see the person.
Oh, Zippel does have a ring of communication
Oh, okay, cool.
attuned. So yes, you can
Something tells me.
within 1 mile. I mean, at this point, you've gone more than a mile. I don't know how. You don't remember when he broke off
Yeah.
or they broke off, and you don't, quite know which direction they even went. But getting along, at one point somebody make a perception check just to keep an eye out as you're moving along. Who would like to do that? So this roll first.
Okay, cool.
I forget what my bonus is. Not with my owl. So
No.
skills. Perception. Perception, right? Yeah.
Yes, perception
Plus
check.
5, so 17. Not too bad.
17. You see a lot of things walking down here. Different vendors and what looks like well-dressed government officials or even clerks, kind of scurrying by with sometimes sheaves of paper and folders in their arms. Regularly, though, you notice an older woman, kind of nondescript, that seems to be not exactly trailing you, but keeping pace, maybe about 50, 60 feet behind.
Alright. My weirdness, let everybody know.
That what
We might be following.
Might be being followed. Yeah. So do whatever you want.
so how far back? How far back are we?
How far back was it?
50 feet.
All right, so
Not too far.
but like we can kind of like whisper back and forth because she's not gonna like hear us or anything.
I almost imagine Crom would just like immediately turn around.
Yeah, I was gonna palm the dagger.
You guys
No,
talking about
it-
her?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my dagger just in my
Slip it out.
yeah, maybe
I really don't want to start trouble in this place without knowing anything. But what do you guys want to? What do you guys want to do? I mean, she looks pretty old. I think we could take her, but I don't necessarily want to like, knife down some old woman in the street here.
especially if you just look like her long lost grandson and she's coming to offer you a crumpet.
And I really don't want to run into. I don't want to break any rules here, or I want to be
I'll put
as
it
under
under
the
your
radar
fire.
as possible.
You're all doing this as you walk along.
So I guess yeah, like everybody just act natural, like just keep walking, right?
I'm still gonna loosen my dagger.
Okay.
Do we want to like slow down, see if she slows down? I mean, I'm assuming.
As we're walking, I put my hand on your shoulder and like guide me. I'm going my owl.
Okay.
And I'm gonna fly up off to the side and then come back around and then kind of fly around near and watch and listen.
Okay. Make a perception check as well as a stealth check. So perception check first.
Good. It's advantage for your hearing and sight.
Yeah. Okay.
Not good. 11.
11 for perception. Make a stealth check just to see if, how noticeable.
Okay, I'll get a modifier on that one.
I feel like owls should have. They probably don't.
Oh, I don't even know what the owl.
If it doesn't say, I'm not sure. Let me see. Right here. There we go.
This is more productive than what I was gonna do.
You have a +3 on stealth for the owl.
Okay, so 16.
Okay. Swinging Casilda out and around, kind of flying as you're walking with a hand on the shoulder. You see through her eyes. She kind of lights on a little sign kind of protruding from the side of one of the shops on the side, about a story up. Looking down, as this woman passes, you see what looks like a humanish woman, smoking with a cigarette kind of hanging out of her mouth. This kind of dark but mostly graying hair. Dressed in a nice kind of tunic with some slacks underneath. I mean, not very nice, but nice enough. Like, they're not shabby looking. But it does seem to be kind of looking forward down the street as she's continuing to keep pace with y'all.
I didn't really get much out of that, but I will still have my bird kind of follow behind, and I will mind weirdness these guys and tell them maybe we should either take a few turns, see if they're following. Don't necessarily lose them, but find out some odd turns. Well, here's a thought. I learned this from Burn Notice. Called it sit and see. Somebody just, if you think you're being tailed, sit there at a light and pretend like you're playing on your phone,
Yeah,
like you didn't see it. And if they stay there, then they're trying to follow you.
Right. So I
Or
was
they have to
thinking,
just-
like, what if we just pull off to the side here and act like we're stopping and talking about something and just kind of, yeah.
Yep. That's what I think we should do.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. Okay. So we just kind of like stop and walk to the side.
Alright.
Something that might be interesting.
Yeah. See.
The nearest thing to you is a little meat pie stand on the side of the street here.
Just check out these
Try
meat
the
pie.
local flavor.
Yeah.
The guy there is it looks like maybe a fawn, kind of goatee legs with some horns coming out. But he's like, kidney pies. We got liver. We got fish. What would you like?
Any goat meat
Do you have any good?
They just give you a flat look.
I'll
We got
take.
curry, but not goat meat. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I think he said there was some Fish?
We got fish. We got eel. You like eel?
Just keep asking them crazy questions.
Eel's good. It's
How's
good.
that eel?
It's slimy,
Mm-hmm. I like slimy.
fishy, but not too fishy.
Yeah.
It's what you want. And there's potatoes.
Yeah, I think
what
I'll.
else? Onions. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I'll take a eel pie.
Be a silver.
Keep asking questions.
So what's in your meat pie?
I mean, as if you're still watching through Casilda, she's continued to walk up, kind of on a beeline for you as you've stopped at this. She's about 20 feet away now.
Cool.
You had asked,
What's in the meat pie?
"Is meat?"
Really?
Oh yes. Would you like some?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting.
If you would like a particular meat, we can give you that. But should you want the cheaper version, don't ask.
I want the more expensive version.
Yeah,
And how far behind?
Fine
is
then.
this
We have
now?
horse. We have.
a silver's a little steep, but I figure I'm not complaining.
Don't worry, I've
I'm
got
gonna
it.
for it. Yeah.
I've got it. I'll just get some of our.
I mean,
for the group.
as you've looked around, everywhere in Sigil, the prices seem to be higher than you're used to on
Yeah,
your
we're
plane.
So, I'm gonna get an eel.
Okay.
How far behind us now is that woman?
Are you asking?
They're
Actually,
doing
asking.
a
I'm asking
straight line
Surface.
towards me.
As
Yeah,
you're,
Surface issue still.
as you're
behind.
saying this to Surthis, you hear a voice that says, "Well, I'm right here.
May I
God,
buy you
Jesus.
a pie, ma'am? I understand the eel is very good.
I'm fine.
May we help you?
You guys are new to town. It looks like. Yeah.
What gave us away?
You just look like it. The name's Tick. Tick Fastheart. I tend to try to look for some primes like all of you here, because I'm always looking for stories. You see, I myself am a publisher. I run my own zine here in the cage, as well as I have several memoirs I have published across several different crystal spheres. But you look like you are people of the world. Would you be interested in maybe telling one of your stories to me?
Oh yes,
I could make it worth your while, of course.
we expect that.
Do we really want to mind weirdness? Always.
Do we really want to share about our dirty deeds
Who says
that
they have to
made
be
us
true?
jump out? Yeah. Well, I do want to
Maybe
do
it's just like a
a.
fluff piece or something. You don't have
Yeah,
to,
I mean,
to like give them the.
Can't make money off of that. I don't know.
10 best places to eat in Singor.
Yeah.
Can I do an insight check? See if that's.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
our
yeah,
friend
yeah,
the Black
yeah.
Dragon.
Nope, not very good at all.
I mean, looking at her, she has like a what looks like the nub of a pencil behind one ear, and she's got some ink stains on her hands. She very well might be a editor / publisher, somebody who works with paper and writing.
We are a tad busy right now. No doubt, accumulating adventures to tell you about.
Of course,
but
of
we
course,
can always
yes.
meet up with you later.
Well, I'm
we
assuming you're new to town, though.
We
You're
are.
needing some maybe directions, some knowledge to get around.
Maybe.
I mean, I could give you some with maybe the promise that you'll visit my offices, and we can sit down and we can have my secretary transcribe something.
That sounds like a plan. Now, can you get us through the hive?
I mean, it's easy enough to get through. You've been to a slum before, I'm guessing, of some type.
Yes.
That's what the hive is.
We just blankly. Yes. We're not going to be offended or
It's-
anything by that. Just.
It's what you might call the broke ass part of town. In any case, what do you need to know about it?
No, we just want to get through it.
You
To
walk
where the
through.
crime
That's
is.
the easiest part to get through. There's a couple things to watch for if you're going to be going through. By the way, my zine, it's called Adventure Time. It's for the younger, the younger generation. Maybe you wouldn't understand. In any case.
Oh, whoa! I am the younger generation still.
And how old are you?
Oh, under 100.
You are a young one then. Oh. Spring chicken, this one.
What's your distribution like? Just within the cage, I guess?
Oh no, not at all. I distribute several different worlds within the prime material plane, as well as the plane of Earth. Plane of Fire, the books don't go very well there. Neither the plane of Water. We're working on that though. We're working on that.
Yeah.
And this would be illustrated, right?
I mean, should you want it to, that's going to be more on the actual printing side, with the graphs and all that.
Well, we would like our pictures to be now. After all,
would
we
we?
are
Would
so
we?
handsome.
Would we? No.
I'll just make up a story.
I mean, you're the heroes of Karnath, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, you're looking to get to the low award, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just be careful in the hive, I suppose. Let's see here. I gotta find where my things seem to have. I thought I wrote something, and now I'm not seeing it.
I remember rolling as a -1 for wisdom.
So you're right in thinking the quickest way is through the hive. It's going to depend on. Lately, it's been shorter than it maybe sometimes has, so you're in luck. Just keep away from the slags. That's the worst part of the slum there. You're liable to be stabbed, shot. I don't know. Dissolved occasionally happens. Just watch it. It's going to be spiralward. Are you aware? Downward, spiralward. If you're talking about the edges here, there's going to be towards the top of the spire, and she kind of points up, and you can see that the spire comes down, and then down, of course.
Gotcha.
In any case, also watch out for the ditch. It's kind of like a river. It flows from one edge to the other. Nobody's sure why it flows only in one direction. It's not like there's gravity of that kind, and it goes all the way, on the curve somehow. Not sure. But that kind of separates loosely the hive and the lower ward. Also, if you get a chance, visit Quakes. Should you
We've
see
heard
it.
about Quakes.
Yeah.
It tends to appear here and there, or disappear here and there. There's always a slight chance you'll see it just walking on any random street in there.
How about the friendly fiend?
Friendly Fiend. Aiken. You're looking for. I mean, it's both the name of the place and the person. His name is Aiken, but he's also the Friendly Fiend.
So has anyone
Big-
given him medicine yet to kill this Aiken?
We really need to get you in my office. I see
I do want to be
kind of a
honest with
Jack Handy kind of memoir going on here. It's going to be great. In any case,
Who's this Jack Handy?
hey, she's publishing all the material. He's a character. Be careful about what you promise him, or what he promises you, for that matter. As he says, he's friendly, but he's a fiend.
A fiend, yeah.
you. Yeah.
He's how do you say? He's a dog. That one.
This person's name is Twitch Heartbeat. What was it?
No,
Tick,
that's
tick.
Aiken.
Tick.
Aiken.
The
Mine. Are
person
you
we're
mine?
talking to is
Yeah.
Tick.
Tick. Fast heart.
Fast heart, right?
Fast
Yep.
heart.
anybody-
Twitch Heartbeat. Yes,
Twitch heartbeat.
Yeah.
Tick.
So if we
fast
ask
heart.
anybody how to get back to you,
Yeah,
after
where is your office?
that they can?
I mean,
direct
I'm in the
us-
lower ward. I'm just up from one of my favorite taverns, the Mermaid Cups. It's a nice little place, nautical theme. I like it quite a bit. I can give. There's a whole lot of different taverns below. It's one of the main places to be in the lower ward is a tavern. There's the Dirk and Firkin. It's a great place. They have a greenhouse. They make their own ale. There's the Face of Gith. Really, that tends to be kind of only a certain type seems to go there, but still, whatever your thing is. The Green Mill. It's a nice safe house and sanctuary. If you should ever be in trouble, go there. You can't be touched. The Red Pony, that's an okay place. The Society of Luminiferous Aether. It's a mage hangout. Or gentleman's club, as they call it. The Speckled Rat, the Styx Oarsman. Oh, we don't need a password. The 10th Pit. That's a good one. Kind of shady. Kind of, well, brimstone-y too, if you get my meaning. The Sword and Buckler, where it looks like y'all might want to hang out. Mercenaries on your type. The Ubiquitous Wayfarer. Be careful what door you walk through in that place. Almost every one of them is going to be a portal. It's not the greatest. They try to keep track, but it's hard. And then the White Casket. Kind of more of a dour place, but there's some good bands that play there. You get my meaning.
Goth bar.
Just be careful. There's different. I mean, each one of these places, of course, has maybe a different guild or faction that's going to be represented there. Be careful. Is all I can say. You looking for anything else other than places to drink, maybe?
Places to stay.
Yeah, we're looking for all kinds of stuff. But he said his office is in the lower ward, right?
Her office.
Her office. Near the Mermaid Cup.
Near the Mermaid's Cup. Yeah. Personally, my faction is the Athar. We're all about the knowledge. None of those icky gods, though.
Well, one of
Should
our
you be in?
companions is a devout
Ugh,
follower.
don't get me
of
started.
our God.
Bring him in to the Potted Vale. Let me tell you, Kesto, he'll set it right. It's a nice
You
book
might
shop
say
too.
Presto, right?
Kesto.
Kesto.
Kesto Bright Eyes. Be careful. He might like you. You might like him. He's a gnome. Likes books. You look like you might like books.
Yeah. And but this guy was in the.
The Athar.
Oh, he's in the Athar as well.
Yes.
Okay.
He's still maybe a little higher than me in there. Let me tell you. He's
What was his name?
Kesto Bright Eyes. He's got just about any book you could ever think of. Good stuff.
And he probably has room for a pamphlet on the sun.
Yeah. I don't think he'd be into that. These Athar sound like.
I know. I'm just wondering who would give first.
They're basically the militant atheists of Sigil.
Yes, that's why I would like to get on.
It's not that they deny that gods exist; they're just not worthy of
I just
worship.
forgot Tom's character's name.
Zipil.
Yeah, I
Zipil.
want to see which one would give first.
I mean, what happens when a movable object means unstoppable force?
Yeah, that's
Something.
what I'm thinking it would be kind of
Something cool. All right. But seriously, visit me at my office. Here's my card.
like. Thank you.
Give you a card. And like I said, stay away from the slags. Be careful at the ditch. You should be fine.
You know, where are you headed now?
Me, I'm headed over to the market ward, actually,
So I
around
was
the
thinking
town.
Maybe we could walk with you.
I just saw you, thought I would catch up, give you the lowdown. You looked like you might be confused, but I gotta head the other way now. Anything else?
Let's see. So I appreciate the tip on the books.
Who are you looking for, anyway? Sounds like you're looking for someone?
Oh yeah.
Not really.
Well, you had mentioned something, though. Somebody you were looking for.
No, I didn't.
I thought you had.
No.
You look like you're looking for someone.
We were
Everyone
looking for
who
you.
comes here is looking for
We
something.
were looking for you.
That sounds unlikely.
We have found you, and how could
Seriously,
we
who
want
are you
anyone
looking
else?
for?
What was his name? Gilden? No.
A Row Mill.
Arel Nil.
Trollcoat.
Trollcoat. Yeah.
Would
we
you
always
really
call
want
it
to tell her, though?
Yeah, why not? I
It
mean,
might get back to whoever we don't want to know about it.
we asked the map guy
True.
like for a map to him.
Yes, but he didn't chase us
Word's
down.
ready
and
for
want
it.
our
The map
story.
guy, huge gossip.
Yeah, he didn't chase us down and want our story.
Well, I mean, she's a publisher.
Mm-hmm. Who accosts people in the street and gives her their card.
Yeah. How else do you make money?
True.
Like, just be careful. It can be hard to breathe sometimes in the lower ward, mostly because of the foundry. They make a lot of things there. They make a lot of metal there. It's a good time. There's lots of odd shops. You can find just about anything you need.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be on the lookout for interesting books and magical gadgets.
Magical
Or
gadgets like
clockwork.
gadgets?
Tech.
He's like,
The Hand of Time. It's a great clockwork place. They'll fix just about anything, and they have some things for sale. As well as, the Friendly Fiend. That's going to be your kind of magical item kind of place.
Yeah.
So that's two birds and one stone right there. That's good. That's good.
Why were we supposed to find Troll Coat?
He was tasked with building the thing for Usu.
Well, he wasn't tasked with it. He was one of the people who could build it.
Right. One of the few people that would be able to
Yeah.
forge the thing. So we figured he could tell us what it was supposed to do, or why Usu would want it, or things of that nature.
but inquiring to him, he could get back to old.
I was just thinking we kill him after he
I
tells us
think
what we wanted to
I think we assumed or determined or
What is
kind
your-
of figured that he.
What is your alignment?
I do believe it's not.
It's not good, I think.
No, it's not. I think it's neutral chaotic.
I think we
I
determined.
mean, wanting to
that-
immediately kill people feels like evil.
Yeah, I think it's. Oh no, he has good moments. where
assumed
he's
or
very
determined or
sweet.
something that
Where somewhere in here
we
is
could
like-
ask him because he wouldn't necessarily have any allegiance to Usu. If he built it, it would just be like a commissioned job, and he's he's just somebody that could. We had no reason to believe he would be.
If I remember, the idea is also that he could tell you what exactly it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty good because you don't necessarily do evil.
Yeah, but I
But-
just remember.
But
That's an obstacle in the way that they have no qualms on getting rid of.
Yeah, and
it also might be fun.
I mean, Thomas just drove me out of my mind, and I wanted to kill him, and y'all wouldn't let me. And look what happened to us.
I mean, he fell off the side of a sky ship over a sea.
Yeah, but look how many times he popped up in our life.
Sure.
Yeah, and Rob and I were all for killing him.
It's almost like I was bringing him to the story for a reason,
I know.
which you never found out. Cool.
Okay. So
Anyway,
yeah.
well,
Yeah. I mean,
as you were kind of discussing a little bit, you're like, okay, discuss amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get going. And she
we'll be
starts
seeing you.
walking.
I think we should definitely stop by our
yeah.
office. And,
Please do. I mean, I've already given you all this information. That's in just making sure I was truthful about we can actually pay you for these things now with a little bit of information, but later, money, more information, whatever you may need. Just you got my card.
I do
We'll be
indeed.
in touch.
Yes.
This-
We'll be in touch. Call me.
She
Whatever.
seems
All right.
like she's gonna know all the hot goss from
Yeah.
all over.
As she's been talking, like the cigarette in her mouth has just gotten this huge thing of ash on it, and as she's talking, like you keep waiting for it to fall, and it doesn't, and then it eventually does. And there's only a little bit of cigarette left, and she takes another out of this, like a hand-rolled cigarette out of this little case, and lights it off the end of the last one, and puts it in her mouth, and then walks off.
Okay. And I'm going to watch as long as I can through my bird.
Yeah, she's
See if they interact with anybody else and they kind of pointing and stuff like that.
I mean, I'll say with the perception check you had before, yeah, she just keeps walking. I mean, she occasionally will like wave to somebody or something like that, but she's fairly quickly walking the opposite way where you had been coming from, kind of.
Okay.
All right, so you've been given a few things to watch for.
Go towards the hive.
What were we told about the Lady of Pain so far? Just to avoid her?
Yes. I mean, she's rarely seen. If you do see her, go the other way as fast as you can.
She doesn't show up for like
She doesn't show up for
good
anything.
reasons. Like, if she's in a place, it's to punish someone or
You've been told that the Davus,
be mad.
who are these kind of floating individuals with four horns coming out of their head in robes that you see occasionally floating by, either on a side street or on the street you're on, are the ones who really kind of keep the peace in town, along with the Doom Guard in some places. And they're kind of these enigmatic individuals who never speak, but talk rather in these floating, kind of glowing runes that appear in front of them. Yeah.
Well, that was the chump. I think that one of the things that we should do is best try to understand the nature of this place, so we better fit in for one, and its usefulness to us.
Sigil as a whole?
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm interested in this mysterious entity, Lady of Pain.
Mhm.
It's gonna remain mysterious, I assume, but I want to know as much as I can, besides the normal stuff that I think it might be. Yeah. Whenever we get to that point.
It seems like it's going to be kind of hard to wrap our heads around. Pretty, just incomprehensible dimensions of Lovecraftian proportions.
Yeah. But there's the known, and then there's beyond the known. So I'm thinking about best with the known, all that stuff.
The unknown's so fun.
Yeah, but we all know.
That's why you can't hear in the first place.
Everything's unknown right now, so.
Alright, so, you continuing walking then?
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, so as you continue to walk through what you are pretty sure is still the clerk's ward, it does still very gradually get a little shabbier. The rented carriages you've seen stop going back and forth as much as you get kind of towards what you assume is going to be the outskirts. You don't see as many people riding things. At one point a little back, you pass this huge circular building that's topped like more than 100 feet up with these spires that come to spikes at the top. Looks like a huge, like, enormously large and tall crown almost. It has this sign on the side that says Hall of Records, which is somehow different from the Hall of Information. I'm not sure how.
Roland wants to. Does he see any of those battle cats being ridden by anybody around?
I mean, you saw the one, and you may have seen maybe one other. There's a whole lot of different mounts that you see here.
Are there any
Bird types, cat types.
Are there any wearing armor?
No, the ones you saw weren't wearing armor.
But they were big and ferocious.
Oh yeah, they were nasty looking.
All right. Next time I see one, I want to stop it and talk to the rider.
Okay, yeah, you might not see another one from here because they're kind of thinning out. Anybody riding anything is thinning out at this point.
We're kind of on the edge of the clerk's ward. We're getting towards the outskirts, or
Something like this.
something like that.
Yeah. And like I said, the map you have is it suffices. It's in 2 dimensions, trying to describe this weird 3-dimensional shape. But the distances mean nothing. But there's various points in the map where general relative locations are marked.
Can I do a perception check to see if I see one?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Oh, that would be a 10. 13.
Okay. You don't see one again from now on, actually.
Rats.
If you wanted to go back, you might run into one again. I mean, there was all kinds of interesting things like that, like a lizard kind of variant of that as well, like a large, fast-looking kind of,
That would
20
work.
foot long. Like,
Are you looking for a
skunk.
mount? Do you
Yeah,
want to
John.
get a mount to
I
ride?
want to buy
As well
one
as
of
these,
things. So
these
badly.
things that look like they could be like elephant birds, like like ostriches, but 3 times as big that somebody's riding.
Yeah. Now I want either the lizard or the cat. All right. Why don't y'all just hang out here and I'll be back in about 20 minutes?
You want to get him? You want to get him out like right now?
Yes, I
You
do.
seriously gonna go try to? Okay.
I really do.
Y'all gonna wait for her?
I mean, maybe that could wait till we get to the lower ward or the market, somewhere where there's like a stables.
I mean, there might be stables in the lower ward. Roland is totally into getting one of these right now.
There might be stables in the lower ward. We've not heard. There's
Yeah.
There's a clockwork shop and a magic item shop there, and a bookshop.
I feel like the clerk's ward won't be the best place to buy a mount. Probably overpriced.
That's all right.
There is an entire ward called the Market Ward,
Roland,
which, as you've heard, has a place called the Bazaar.
yes, which
Yeah.
is probably B-I-Z-Z. I mean, B-I-Z.
B-A-Z.
No, I was thinking it's probably bizarre, like a weird
Bizarro.
things.
A bizarre bazaar.
And like
Yeah.
with a capital B, like the Bazaar, not just a bazaar. Anyway, are we moving on then, or are you gonna go back and what?
I want to buy one.
You gonna go? Are you gonna? Do you want to go back now and try to find one of those people?
Yes.
Are you all gonna wait for her or him?
I mean, you don't want to go through the hive by yourself.
Yeah, well, I won't be. I'll be on like some scary ass looking thing with y'all up there too. We get like a 4-seater comes with us too.
Roland, make an investigation check. Are y'all going with Roland, or are you gonna let him search around for an hour while you twiddle your thumbs on a street corner?
17.
Okay.
Is there anything interesting nearby?
Not really. You're coming near the edge of the clerk's ward. The interesting stuff kind of faded off, and you're in kind of the drab parts now, getting near to the hive ward. Which is odd that the government part of town is right next to the... I guess that's not that odd. That's true in a lot of places. With the 17, I mean, as Roland leaves you, or as you leave the group, you go off and you search a while back and through where you thought you saw one tied up before, and, and you don't see him again.
All right, I'll go back with y'all, but I'm keeping my eye out.
I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, yeah. Well,
And it takes a good hour and a half too. Like you are just bored out of your minds by the time
Did we
he gets
continue
back.
or did we just stand around? I think we would continue.
It's
I
up
think
to
I
you.
would stand around.
If there was something to do right here, I would stay. But there's
oh, well, I guess.
I mean, like as they turn around, I'm like,
Let's see what the. I mean, let's see. You want to check out the Hall of Records while she looks for a mount? I don't want to split the party too much because I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a good idea to do that in our own world. But
Yeah.
this place, we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. I was going to buy one for everybody. So we all have our own mounts.
Well-
4 mounts to go through there.
did you say this before you left?
Yeah. Well, I've told y'all
So
I'll
you're just
be
gonna
right
show up.
back.
Surprise! I got us all giant lizard birds.
That's basically what Roland's going to do. Or cats, or a combination.
Yeah, something. So, I mean, we're right next to the Hall of Records. We could at least just poke our heads in, see what that's about.
All right.
Well, listen,
We could do, something to do.
Yeah.
I
while
came
we
back.
wait.
I came back empty-handed.
Well, while you were gone, we went in the Hall of Records. What's that like?
Okay.
Anything, or do we just walk in and they say you can't be here? We say okay, bye.
I mean, as you
They
get,
hand you
because
4.
you
What
saw
kind
it
of
from a ways
records?
off.
What kind of records?
I mean, you're not sure. You saw it from a ways
Some
off.
vinyl.
As you get closer, you realize that that huge building is surrounded by what looks like a park, with other smaller buildings in it, with looks like similarly constructed, but smaller buildings around this main hall, with these trees and paths that kind of go between them. Coming up to it, you see that there's one that's marked as the Hall of Census Records, the Hall of Property Records, the Facility Dormitory, the Rowan Academy of Training, the Faction Hall, because it seems that there's a faction that runs this place. And just kind of quickly, within about maybe 15 minutes walking around this park kind of grounds around this main huge building. Those are the basic things that you see.
The the real estate faction.
If you'd like to know more, you can make an investigation check, just asking around, see how well you're able to get people to talk.
Yeah.
Who would like to make an investigation check?
May I?
I will also.
Go ahead.
You can both make one.
Oh, okay, that works.
The real estate faction would look for vacation homes.
Yeah. Get a timeshare? Sounds like a great idea.
Don't suck. You didn't listen to me. It's one of them odd numbers.
What'd you get?
Terrible. 16.
16, okay.
That's the same thing I got for my investigation check.
With a 16, you at least learn the name of the faction, which is the Faded. Which you get the sense is that like they don't do the idea of free will, like everything that is written and is going to be. They're that kind of people. But they also are the ones who keep the records of the city, and anything that is owned in the entire city that needs a record, it is recorded here. And if it is not recorded here, then you don't own it.
I see.
Yeah, so there's different halls, and then there's the main hall, which, like, has the major holdings of the records of the major holdings of everyone in the city. And of course, there's the property records, which is a little different, although it seems to be fairly busy as you walk by, as things seem to change in the city quite a bit. And of course, there's the census records, which looks like the least busy.
So,
I'm trying to think of what I want to know from any of these places, but
well, what I want to know
It's up
is
to you.
if everything is written, how is that determined? What determined?
like what determined what was written?
Yeah, what wrote it?
Fate, man.
Yeah, but
Just
You
like
know,
if something is written, then something determined it. So I gotta ask one of these people.
Okay.
If everything is written, then
Are you
what
just-
wrote it?
Are you just like without preface asking some person walking by?
Well, it's just
probably-
something that popped in my head, and I'm like,
So
Can you get the smarmy person who uses a pen
so
when you ask who wrote it?
What if
wrote it?
what if we go to one of these places like I don't know, the property some I mean presumably people in this faction are the ones that recorded it and wrote it based
well, you're
on
saying that basically all of reality is written, right? That's what the
I mean, that's what they believe.
exactly.
It's one of the factions, though. Like, there's other factions in town.
It's really hard to argue. I was gonna be like, okay,
Like, there's also a faction in town that believes in pure chaos.
you can't disbelieve or disprove, can't prove, disprove, but still, if everything's written, what is their idea? Is there some kind of ultimate being thing that wrote all of what reality?
Oh, they don't
is?
care about any of that. They just care that that there is like a set reality.
They drew a line in the sand. What the hell is it? All right, cool. Oh, it's disappointing.
yeah, I mean,
A little bit.
these guys
All right. I mean, if you'd like to find somebody to talk to real quick, you can definitely.
Nah, if I gather that, it's like they just don't even think about it. It's like they got to a point where
I mean, some of them might, but that's not the like the party line.
it is interesting, the whole guild thing, because like here you are, you're outside of the prime, you're in a nexus of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
What's left to think about, right? You know.
Well, there's always something to argue about, and that's the main thing here. Is that they just hate the other guilds.
That's where things lead when you're trying to wrap your head around this kind of reality.
Do they have
You
a
have to
story of
draw
our
a line in the
exploits?
sand and determine one to believe.
I mean, they don't just have everything that's ever been written down.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like it's a huge archive of everything that's owned or ever has been owned within the city of Sigil. Or every person that has come through or lived in Sigil. Theoretically.
Oh, if we're coming through, y'all should like go give them notes on how we're dressed, how good looking we are.
mean,
Do they have a good system of looking things up?
I mean, you haven't really gone into one of them yet. They might. You're not sure.
I mean, you know, I don't know what.
People we know, maybe we check to see if they've ever came through here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like, like maybe there's a way to look up to see if, Usu owns property here.
That's his property.
Maybe he's got a
If
summer
it's
home.
written, then when they came, where they went.
So I guess
What they own.
I guess we start at the let's go to the census office and just see like has Usu been here basically, right? That's what we.
Yeah. Just trying to find out if they've been here, where all they went. We might need to check into that.
I think the census would be the first office to try.
And then the other problem is anybody's looking for us, they know exactly where we are, all we've been. Everything is written.
Well.
So it's a one-stop shop to find out.
Maybe not everything, but if you drop by here, it's probably gonna be.
Yeah,
written
yeah.
down.
I think
Yeah.
if we go to any of these buildings to look something up, that will definitely register us as having checked in. So
Is there a small child running around that you can bribe? To go do it for you? We can give it some candy.
I guess I'm misunderstanding. Like, I thought you were saying that they kind of know everything that's happening.
Oh, they don't know everything. They record everything that they
no.
know,
Okay, cool.
and they believe that everything that happens was meant to happen, and that it was going to be that way no matter what.
Then it doesn't really matter.
I thought it was something like that one dude from Dragonlance, whatever.
No.
The neutral god that knows everything that's going on and writes it down.
I mean, that's a fun idea, but that's not what these
I
people
thought that's
are.
what
Yeah.
it was. That
I
would
don't
suck.
No. These people are not all knowing. They're just kind of annoying bureaucrats.
But we could still see if they have possible.
They
I'm
Just
not-
look up their name and see what
they might have
information they
records. Yeah.
I'm not like super concerned about remaining totally anonymous and covering all of our tracks like real thoroughly here, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to like drop a pin on our location at any point. And I guess that's about the only thing I could think off the top of my head, or after thinking about it for a minute, that we could gain that I would want to know from
I
here
know
is like,
how I
does
could do
Usu have a vacation home here, or has conducted business transactions here, or something like that, and how we find that out without registering ourselves. Yeah, we could find some street urchin.
No, I have a better idea. Can Roland walk up to y'all right then and overhear you?
I guess you
Yeah,
were
he
gone
can-
for a little while, and
Yeah.
we
All right.
haven't
If
done
y'all
anything.
want, I can go in there. I'll just put it right. I've got that mask of many faces. It doesn't matter that it's not attuned to me. I just won't look like me. I'll put on my mask of many faces and come up with a fake name and go ask about it.
I mean, that might work.
It'd be fun.
I don't know what kind of. I don't know. I don't know how this place works.
Well, they'll never know it's me.
All right, go. Sure,
All right.
go.
I love your enthusiasm.
All right, so you're gonna put on the mask of many
That's
faces.
crazy. I've been
And-
playing Roland way too
All right,
carefully.
Roland. What we need you to do is go into the census office here and say that you want to look up Usu.
How about we not specifically just say, how do we look up something and then do your
Yes, ask
Yeah.
ask if you can do a search for someone to see if they have any records in the city.
Make up a name similar but not the same.
And then
should
and then
we,
also try to remember Usu's full name, because I don't know if we can just say, Usu.
How about Usu?
Oh yeah, you have
Priest of
never
Ti-
heard Usu's full name.
Yeah, how
Really?
about-
You've
Uh,
only
Yeah, we
don't even know if that's
Usu.
really-
He is a priest of the Platinum Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, that should
is
be
his
okay.
title.
Right?
But don't worry, guys. I got it.
Which may lead us to, it's like possible that a stolen identity got most likely.
All right, I've got this. Don't worry about it.
All right, I guess.
I'm gonna put on my mask of many faces. I'm gonna pop down an alley so nobody sees me do it. Then I'm gonna put on my mask of many faces.
Okay.
Now y'all should go and make
Okay,
it they're all
we'll just-
obvious who y'all are.
Let's go stand out front and just kind
We're
of.
waiting again.
So Roland,
I'm finishing off the
What
rest
are the
of
mask of many
finishing off the
faces?
rest of my eel pie.
Uh-huh.
you of course take on a random form.
Yes.
In this case, that is of a male orc.
Cool.
just with a loincloth on.
Awesome. Do I have a club?
No, you don't have like I mean, you have whatever you were carrying on you, of course.
Okay. Oh,
like
good.
so,
Okay.
there's a rapier and a rifle on this random orc in a loincloth for some reason.
Awesome. I can
and
work
so,
this.
yes, you seem to be about a foot taller than you were, and about a foot broader as well. It's the way you look. Anyway. No, wait. This Mask of Many Faces. It's not seeming. It's. I can't remember now. Let me look at something.
Yeah, we got a few different characters that have a few different ways to change their appearance, and they don't all have the same rules.
Let me look at the rules for this, because this is an interesting one. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, that adventurer's sword that was in your bag, it's the adventurer's wand.
Ah, okay. Half time I can't read my handwriting.
Mask of Many Faces. Disguise self is what it does. You make yourself look different. So you don't actually change yourself, but it lasts an hour and you make yourself look different.
Am I still a giant orc?
You are, because it's random, because you're not attuned. Now,
I'm gonna sneak up behind Chomp.
the thing is, the more different you are than your regular self, the easier it can be for people to see that. Like if they reach out to touch you or something, their hand's gonna pass through the huge muscles of this orc to go to you, which is gonna basically dispel the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to run up behind Chomp. You didn't see me turn, did you?
I mean, you went
said
to an
you
alley.
ducked behind an alley, and we were just kind of standing
All right,
around.
I'm gonna come up behind Chomp.
Okay.
And I'm gonna yell. I'm not gonna yell. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go, boo!
And I turn around.
A
And
huge orc runs behind you and goes, boo!
Ah!
Because the voice changes too,
I
think.
Fooled you, didn't I?
I turn around and I grab my quarterstaff and I'm like, "Boo!
Fooled you.
Stop rolling, Jesus."
Actually, no, the voice doesn't change. So Roland's voice.
So
comes
Roland's
out.
so I hear boo and I'm like,
Oh my
"Oh, hey,
gosh.
Roland, whoa!"
All right, so you're gonna go into the hall of the census records.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll find. I guess I'll stand in line. Do I need to?
There's
take
no
a,
line to the hall. of
He
census
said it was
records.
the least
It is
busy.
the least
True.
busy.
Do they still make me take a number, anyways?
I mean, you kind of push the door open, which. And it echoes through this large chamber as you come in. And, like, each step, like, reverberates throughout. Like, there's, like, one other person at a single, like, teller's window at one side, but there's about 20 teller's windows around here, each with a very bored-looking individual behind it.
All right.
I guess you just choose one at random, or...
The prettiest female.
Okay. Looking up, you see there is what looks like there might be an air genasi. Their hair kind of moves a little bit as if there was a wind, even though there's no wind in here. A very fair skinned looking woman. And as you walk up, she says, "Yes, how may I help you? Are you looking for a record?"
Yes, dear, I am.
I did not expect. Sorry. Just the voice and the. I'm sorry. That's racist of me. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe
we
we
had
should-
training on this recently. I'm very sorry.
Maybe we can discuss it later over a drink, and I can give you some intimate insights on how an orc works.
Okay. Make a general charisma check. I want to see how charismatic his orc is.
23, nat 20.
Okay. All right. It's just okay. What can we do for you here in the Hall of Census Records?
I'm looking for an old friend. He told me to come to his house. But first, I just need to make sure he's here because he's kind of a trickster. Usu, priest of the silver, of the platinum dragon.
One moment. She kind of goes off to the side and opens a scroll, and then goes like this, and it seems to keep scrolling through, and she just scrolls and scrolls and scrolls and scrolls, and then like this, it seems to go on forever. And when she says, There we go. S. Usu. We have one Usu who has come through at one point. As far as I know, no address listed. You said this is your friend.
Well, he is, but we have this strange game called, what do you call it? Like geocaching among different planes.
I just said, the last time
Hide and seek.
this Usu was through was...
Treasure hunt is what I wanted.
900 years ago.
900. He is such a sneaky little bastard.
He's playing the long game, I guess.
Do you remember, can you tell where he went? He likes to hide.
I'm sorry,
swag.
it's just an immigration, and he came through and then left. I can't give you much more information
When did
than
he
that.
leave?
But it wasn't long after. He was here for just a little bit.
He's good at hiding that swag. Where would you hide?
And that was
if you were a
900
priest.
years ago?
Yeah. Oh,
Priest of the
Usu's what?
Platinum Dragon.
Supposed to be a dwarf or human.
Usu, he looks human, bald. Got a goatee with a long beard part.
Okay, cool. He dragon. That's what I'm thinking. He dragon.
well, dear.
Oh.
You're not
I appreciate the information. Talking to such a beautiful young lady has certainly made my day well worth the treasure hunt of coming here just to meet you.
The pleasure was all mine. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps I'll see you around.
Yes, I hope so.
All right, and with that, I'm going to do like this half bow and like put my arm out in a flourish, and then I'll leave.
And this is all like just this muscly, like huge ripped orc with only a loincloth on.
And a lot of weapons.
And just weapons strapped everywhere, yes.
Yes. So I'll do a very nice bow, and then I will turn around and walk out.
Alright. Okay.
Share this information with us.
Yeah, I'm going to come out. Well, first I'm going to go into an alley and take my mask off so that the orc will not be associated with y'all.
You already said boo.
Yeah, well, that was fun. So I'm going to tell y'all that he came here 900 years ago. Did not stay very long.
900 years ago. No.
That's not an average lifespan for
I don't know a whole lot about human biology, but
Yeah. That's even older than
I'm
an elf.
pretty confident that is many times their normal lifespan.
Yes.
Did they give you any more information?
I think she'd go on a date with me.
How often can you use that?
The mask, I can't guarantee that I'll turn into an orc again. But
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to go in as another individual with the same voice.
exactly what I'm thinking.
Or try to do a different voice, that's up to you.
We could try to find.
But also, you didn't have to like sign a logbook or anything.
No, I didn't. I wonder if we find a map, or on the map, if there's a temple to Tiamat here, and we could just go popping down in there next with my mask.
Oh gosh.
Well, what I was going to ask, I wish that we could find out what form it took when it came here. We don't know what form it took.
Oh, like somebody
Yeah.
named Usu was here, but
Was it
wasn't
human?
a-
Did it look like a bald guy with long hair or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Or was it another form? A dragon form? Whatever form. That could be useful information. But I'm I don't know. 900 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have only been that person. Clearly, it went by that name 900 years ago.
Yeah. Or is there a temple to the Platinum Dragon?
How long has it been?
All right, well, that's something to keep in mind. Bureaucratic record halls bore me.
But you should see the ladies that work there.
I'm not gonna argue
Looks
there.
like rolling like, okay. All right. Well, with that, what do y'all want to do? Because you had a question that you thought Roland should ask, but you were not there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'll just say it. I wish we knew.
Yeah.
Once you told me that, that's what I would, may not have asked. Like, what kind of popped in there. But still, I mean, how long? Again, it has to have. They must have been using that name. How long has it been associated with the Platinum Dragon and all that stuff? Like, clearly, 900 years. It's going to raise some flags. But it couldn't have been that long ago.
And I mean, and this was in Sigil. I mean, there's.
There could have been somebody else named Usu coming through.
That's
Yeah.
true.
From
Yeah.
Oh, multiverse, somebody else's
I mean-
name Usu.
See, you have a doppelganger everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Lo, within the past 900 years, from all over the multiverse, they've only had one Usu come through. We only know one person named Usu. It's gotta be. It's
Well,
gotta be.
Yeah.
as of right now, let's just assume
saying.
that that's what that is. Because something's shady. So we already know that as well.
Yeah, that's something that we will keep in mind.
They are
As we-
all lemon seltzers.
It's something.
Drink is good. All right, so what else do you want to do right now?
We need to get a base of
Yeah, let's keep
before
on.
it gets too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting points of exhaustion.
Yeah, at this point, like you have noticed the light slowly get dimmer in town. Like there is no sun, but somehow the light that seems to just be seems to be getting dimmer as the hours go on.
I'm thinking, not that Roland has any good thoughts, or particularly not in cowardice. Do we want to stop up here for the night instead of trying to get through the hive in the dark?
It's not dark yet.
No, I mean, I feel like we need to get to the lower ward.
Yeah.
Also, Crom has the skill, right, to tell like what time of day it is, right? Is that?
Maybe.
I think I can't view her background because I think it's in her background
I think I
trait. Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm curious how long days are here. If it's
She can. I think she has like wanderer trait where she can like she knows the land and the topography and can like not get lost in the wilderness or can draw a map from memory or something like that.
Map memory, geography, recall general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features.
So
And
she
can always find food and water.
Yeah.
For herself and up to 5 other people.
Does that include meat pies and eel pies?
I mean, it's easy enough to find food and water.
How
in
was
city.
the eel pie?
These are the important things.
Roll?
Theo.
No. It was pretty good.
I mean, I
Actually.
bought it,
Like
I
for
ate
a
it.
silver.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
eel pie. I don't know if you've ever had an eel pie.
I've had like eel sushi.
It's an acquired eel pie. Is like because it's made in Great Britain. It's
But I was about to say you're talking about like
Yeah.
the English eel pie where they
English
have
eel
like
pie.
the freshwater eel.
It's an acquired taste, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like it's a little fishy, but eel when cooked actually has a nice texture and isn't too fishy. And it's like made with a little bit of like onion and gravy. And it's not bad. It's an experience. You've never had one, but the meat pie you got was also fair.
Good.
And presumably, since we are in the city of doors, that was an eel pie like from
Fresh
Great Britain on Earth.
It could
From
have
that realm, like these were Earth eels.
Like this was somebody from somewhere that lives on the Thames and just commutes here for work. Yes.
There's a guy I work with. I think he's nailing.
Maybe he just lives in Sigil.
Yeah.
It could happen. Anyway, like it hasn't, like it's progressively, and as you understand the way peak and anti-peak work, it progressively gets a little bit like by the minute. You know, going to anti-peak, it gets dimmer, but not totally dark. And then once it gets to anti-peak, it starts getting brighter progressively. So it's not like daylight when it's mostly the same brightness out all the time. So it makes it, if you're not used to it, kind of hard to tell what time of day or night it is. But it's not especially dim out or anything, so you got a while yet.
Oh,
And you're getting nearer, you're not too far off from what you thought might be getting close to the edge of the hive. So.
yeah, and I actually don't think Roland would even think about spending the night up there. He'd go through the hive.
All right. So you all want to keep walking?
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all, this would be so cool. We had the giant beast, but they didn't have them. But I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Oh
for
yeah,
every
we
one
can
of us.
find that. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we all need
Never
one.
mind how you're gonna, feed that thing,
Not a
lodge that
concern.
thing.
Crumb's kept a bunny rabbit alive for how long now?
Oh, and by the way, the adventurer's one that I said it's not the adventurer's sword. That's in
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, what was the adventure?
It's something it's one of the items that you got from the Black Dragon as
That's
the first part, or as
Oh
your
yes,
first part of your payment.
we had the choice of.
Yeah.
We had a crystal
Orbis.
ball and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Orbis
Which-
spine.
It can reveal any
Scrying.
secret door within 30 feet of you, which Crom's necklace does already anyway. But you can cast Identify without the material components with it.
Through the adventurer's one.
Yeah, and it has 4 charges. And it'll also immediately tell you, it has 4 charges for everything, but it has 3 things. It can reveal a trapdoor, it can cast Identify, and it can learn the fastest way out of a structure immediately. Not necessarily the safest, but the fastest way.
When you take charges, is that limited or just?
4 charges, and it regains 1d4 charges every day at dawn.
Okay.
Up to 4.
Cool. So
You hold it. Also, if you hold it in the palm of your hand without using a charge, it will always point to north. Don't try to print it out here.
I was gonna say. It's like.
But it immediately stabs you in the eye.
So it looks like we must be walking down Crystal Dew Lane.
Gosh,
Maybe. I don't know. I'm looking at the
Crystal Dew Lane, yeah, something like that.
or sound of street.
It is weird here in the city.
Yeah.
As you go through, like it's kind of like here in Macon. You'll be going down a street, and the name of the street just changes.
Yeah. If I was ever in charge of naming streets in a town, I'd be like, "This is Road Street, Street Road, Square Circle,
Square circle.
This is Boulevard Avenue. But going through, fairly quickly again, like it gets shabbier and shabbier until you start seeing like places that are just entirely collapsed, like not demolished for reconstruction, but just sitting there. And you're pretty sure at this point you're in the hive. While we're in the hive, could somebody roll a d20 real quick?
I will. Just a D20, huh?
Just a d20. Let me know what it is.
14.
Good to know. Okay. Walking through, you don't see a whole lot going on, although as it keeps getting a little bit more and more dim, you start, as you're walking through the hive part of the city, you start to see more movement and more people coming out. As it gets darker here, it seems like it gets more active. Walking on this side, which is, I guess, we're going to call it the downward side of the ring, rather than the spire edge. It's closer. You're not on the edge, but you're closer to the downward edge. You see several different places that seem to be selling things. It looks like a couple different pawn shops. People just selling stuff out of a bag on the side of the road, kind of with a blanket spread out. Trying to sell you. Some things look very nice that they're selling. Other things don't. Depending on what you're looking for, you could probably buy all kinds of ill-gotten, what have you, in this part of town.
We'll probably pick up a Rolex, don't you?
It might not, or it might turn your wrist green too. But, it's hard to
Rolex.
tell as the light keeps dimming. The buildings here as well get much closer together. Smaller, but also somehow much closer together. there's fewer tall buildings here. Maybe they top out maybe at 3 levels. Most are at 1 or 2 stories. Many of them that you walk by will just have a rough wooden door. Some of them just something hanging like a cloth or beads hanging in the door. As it's usually it's not cold here in the city. But you do notice that your lungs start to burn a little bit, and there's more haze. Even in the darkness, you can tell there's more haze. And there's just this acrid, kind of almost metallic, and you cough every once in a while. But eventually, you notice coming up on the left side of where you're walking, a tavern along the side of this road you're on. Up ahead, you can see what looks like a break in the buildings with nothing there, kind of just this black line that goes across as it's even getting dimmer now. And it's a little far on to see exactly what it is, but on the left you see a sign with a familiar name that you had heard described by Tick, the 10th Pit. And walking, as you get nearer to it, you hear this raucous noise from inside, and you see an individual stumble out. You can see there's these kind of bat wings. They're about humanish or elvish size, but these bat wings, huge bat wings, seem to sprout from their back, and they're this dark reddish color. Their eyes glow kind of this amber, and they stumble out, a tankard in hand, and look at the whole lot of you and say, it's and then they just kind of pass out. You can see it looks like it's some type of demon that is just now passed out in the ditch along this now dirty road. It's ceased to be cobblestones at this point. It's mostly dry dirt with the occasional kind of muddy runlet that goes down the side, occasionally with water or something flowing in it.
I don't remember what Tick said about the 10th Pit, but
I think you took a riddle. No. It was the
well, you do
Valkyries.
know. Here, 1 second.
she mentioned a bunch of places, but
You do remember from your basic Exandrian theology classes that there are 9 hells,
right.
and so you get the feeling that might be the joke here. It's a tavern where
Like the
demons and
19th hole.
yeah, it's where demons and or devils might hang out, depending on what you're seeing. Because you looking through kind of the murky, cloudy glass windows of this place, you can see several types of demon and devil. You see a hag, what looks like might be a night hag, by just a general description that you've heard at one point. Kind of just walk by the window or almost glide by. Yeah, it looks like a fun place. It's not quite dark yet, but it's good.
Maybe we should press on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looks like
A tavern full of...
Surthus might fit in there, but I don't know
Yeah.
about
Yeah, well,
more than any of
tavern
us.
full of drunken devils and demons.
I really, yeah.
You wouldn't stand out as much as the rest of us, I'd put it that way.
Yeah.
At least not immediately. And that looks kind of like the ditch. Tick did say to look out for the ditch, and that it would be sort of have a flow of something in it. And
And I thought she said these pubs were all, caverns were all in the prime ward.
Which means you're getting near. You're at least near the lower ward at
Yeah.
this point.
I think we must be getting close because the ditch does it. This will be, I believe, this is bordering on the lower ward area.
She did tell you that the wards aren't necessarily there's not a delineating line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
And I mean,
as you watch the tankard that the demon seemed to spill is now as it flows out onto the dust and dirt is sizzling, and there's smoke coming up through it as it goes into the little.
you still want to find a drink at one of these taverns?
I was just about to dare Surface to drink it.
Maybe not this one.
Do I seem like the adventurous type, you know. I mean, I'm an adventurer, but I try to be cautious.
I mean, we had, you know, we were. I know they said that we could go try to find the quakes in the hive, but I mean,
But also that it was hard to find.
but that it would be we would either just kind of come across it or not.
Yeah.
So
Like say it was random, like one or two chances in
Yeah.
20.
So, you might say. So, yeah, I say we make our way through here. We're on the right track. Let's get to the little award.
Yeah.
So far, we've made it through here.
You better knock wood before you jinx us.
Well, we haven't got
Yeah.
what across the ditch.
Well,
Yeah,
you have
and
not
that-
come to something you would call the ditch yet.
We have to watch out for the ditch.
Yeah.
All right, so we walk by the 10th pit.
Okay. Moving on. Excuse me. I'm gonna move past the stuff about quakes because you didn't find it. And I literally wrote moving on here. You keep on going down the road, which kind of, as you've gotten more into what you know now to be the hive, it swerves and meanders a lot more. There's not so much blocks here as there are there's even more hills and stuff here, which is weird in the midst of this almost valley, although looking out to the left or right sometimes you can see that people are walking like very far off. You can almost catch like somebody's head pointing towards you as they're walking on what seems to you to be the wall of this valley. Which is a little bit confusing.
I'm gonna throw up.
But you kind of meander across this and eventually come to a sudden kind of drop in a ravine. And you can see several looking to the left and right, more to the right as there's more of the ring to the right of you at this point. You can see these kind of plank bridges that have been built across. Nothing really looking especially sturdy or permanent. But this ravine, and looking down into it, you can see the slight reflection of this dark, maybe slightly moving liquid that seems to start up to the left of you somewhere near that rim, which is a good quarter mile off. And you can't really see where the movement's going from here, but it continues and it just seems to split the entire ring from rim to rim. With these kind of plank bridges that have been roughly built across. It's a good 100 meters across. You take this to be the ditch. It's hard to ignore. And the more your eyes adjust to looking down in, you can see the water, or whatever is the bottom, has this greenish brown tint. And it is moving. It seems to be moving from your left to your right. You occasionally see something as you realize that it's probably a good 150 feet down. That it's good size. It's more than a ditch. Like the stream in the middle of it is a good 20 feet across, and occasionally you see something a fairly good size floating down it.
I think the name ditch might be a little euphemistic. It's more of a ravine, a small canyon.
You also see occasionally these stone-lined, sometimes jagged, sometimes not, openings in the sheer walls of the ditch.
Oh, little burrows.
Where there's
Sometimes.
often something flowing out, sometimes not. Kind of in a round shape. I mean, often like 15 feet across, but round like a stone pipe almost.
Sewer.
Yeah.
Does the ditch look like it's like made or like a canyon?
It looks like almost a natural canyon, like something gouged this here almost. Like I said, some of the sewers look like they have a neat opening that you saw. Others look like there's like pieces of jagged stone sticking out as if they were broken.
Interesting. So, do we see? Is there anything using those bridge-like structures? Is there anybody crossing, or is it pretty desolate?
I mean, you see, like, it's not like this. There is no sun. The light is still. You can see pretty well still. It hasn't gotten too dim. And you do see the occasional person walking one way or the other across these rough-built plank bridges. Some of them, there's like these long cables that come down from different buildings on either side and seem to be kind of suspending parts of it. Others seem to have these stone and wood constructs that come up from the floor of the ditch to kind of support them in the middle. You're not sure whether you trust either one of those. As each step somebody seems to take on any of the ones you see, and you can see there's a couple near you as well as others going up around the short half circle here of the shorter half circle of the city here. Every time somebody takes a step, the planks move. So they're a little sketchy looking.
I mean, that's the way it goes.
You all gonna cross?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Easily enough. Actually, no, somebody make a perception check just to see which ones you see closer. Because there's more than a few.
Jesus. It's a negative.
Alright.
I don't see any bridges anywhere.
I mean, it's hard to tell distances here, but you see one that you think is fairly close, and you immediately head towards it. Coming up to it, you see it's one of the suspension type that somebody has built. And you see there's not even cables, it's like this braided, several ropes braided together, these long ropes that come down and join this plank bridge in certain places. It's been fairly well constructed, like it's not just knocked together. Like somebody has thought about, you know, how much weight it can support and things. And from it you can see, like, you wouldn't put a cart across this bridge. In fact, it's only about 4 feet wide. But it's not like single planks going across, like just barely suspended or anything.
We gotta go across
Oh, yeah.
2 at a time, or everybody start walking?
How about, single file across it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But do we want everybody to be on the bridge at one time?
That's a good question.
We got 3 people here.
I mean, 4 because Crom is technically
Crom is
so-
technically
yeah.
here.
Once again, it's like splitting the
I mean-
party if we send one person at a time.
Yeah, I think if we go two at a time,
Yeah, put a warrior with
it
him.
might take a while for one.
Yeah.
pretty long
We can
distance.
pair off with
Yeah.
like Crom with you, me with him. Him. Sorry.
Yep.
Alright, so 2 at a time? Who's going first?
Why don't we go?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go first.
Going out across, could you each, I mean, as you go out across, it definitely makes for some just sketchy feeling walking. Like there are, especially as you get out from the edge, there are no handrails. And it's 4 feet across, so it's not like you're walking a balance beam, but
Yeah.
it's a good 150 feet down. And
How long is this thing?
it sways a little bit as you go across, and it's about 100 meters across.
How much is that feet?
330 feet. Could you both make a dexterity check? Like, not a saving throw, but a check.
Yeah.
I was saying. Heck, I forgot which one to add in.
What's your dexterity modifier?
Oh yeah, hang on. A 5. So I
Alright.
didn't do so hot.
So add 5.
Okay, so 15.
That's pretty good.
17.
Yeah. So without too much trouble, like, it's definitely a little queasy at some points, and you're just like, and it takes you a minute. So you go slow, and just kind of, as a couple times, like, your bottom half is doing movements, then your top half is, like, gimbaling on top.
Do I get advantage if I go across it like the dude from Stand By Me?
No. But you get across it easy enough. And getting over to the other side, you see Crom and Chomp on the other side. And just, hey. All right. Chomp, would you roll for both of you? I have
Yeah.
Crom's thing up here too, which is a +1
plus
dexterity.
1.
Yeah.
All right. The Crom will be the orange. Don't fall in.
It's easy.
Oh, cool. So Crom got a 19, and Chomsky got a natural 20, bringing it up to a 22 total.
All right. Nobody fell in. It doesn't matter.
Y'all somersaulting through the thing.
You seeing the others get across, you feel more confident, and you're like even a little bit quicker. You're able to, even though Crom's center of gravity is a little bit high for the bridge, you're still able to get across easy. All right. Now you were told that the ditch is kind of the not exactly official, but kind of boundary to the lower ward, like officially. And you can kind of see it as you get onto the other side of here. Like things just, they look a little bit better built, but also that acrid smog that you had been breathing in seems worse here suddenly, within only about 100 meters somehow. And actually some rain starts to fall as Crom and Chomp finally cross the bridge. Cold rain, which is weird since the air here seems about 65 degrees. You know, it's not warm, but it's not exactly cool either. As the rain starts to fall, it just feels icy as it hits you. Not pouring, but you know, coming down a good bit.
We are so lucky to be here.
All right.
Yep, it's just delightful.
It seems much worse than the other parts of the city.
Yeah, the
we've been
lower
in.
ward. Very.
Yeah.
Like, it's less broke down than the hive was. Still a little shabby. The roads are still fairly narrow, but you don't see, in fact, as you actually get in a little bit, you don't see any collapsed buildings. Everything seems to be inhabited. It's a lot more lively. There's people going everywhere much more even, and as you get in, it's actually getting to the point where it's kind of like night now. Like it's very dim. There's just a little bit of light being shed by whatever sheds the light in this place. And you find yourselves in the midst of a bustling nighttime cityscape with people going back and forth. Taverns open, food shops open. There's a noodle shop over there. There's a tattoo parlor going. You're not exactly sure how to find anything in here, although you have a basic still pamphlet that's showing you kind of some twists and turns. And as you've watched, it's interesting, the pamphlets that he handed you show your location on the map.
Neat.
To where, like, and you saw that Erelmil had been near, or maybe even in, the Friendly Fiend. When you had gotten it anyway. And the mark still hasn't moved, so at this point you're pretty sure, because it's been hours, so you're pretty sure that it was from only that moment that you asked and bought the thing. So you may or may not be able to find this individual there when you get there, but still, they were there. It's a lead. Getting further into the city, you see it seems to be a lot more densely populated than the Clerk's Ward or even the Hive Ward was. The Hive Ward in some places seemed almost desolate. Other places there were more people. It just depended on the exact neighborhood you were in. But going through, you start seeing a couple kind of more open squares where there's almost these small markets set up. For this, what you're used to is markets being open during the day. Here it seems like they're coming alive as it's night here. As you walk into one, you hear some loud yelling going on in common, which seems to be what most people here speak, as there is otherwise a lot of other languages that would be spoken. And occasionally you hear some of them. But you hear in this loud bass voice, Oi! What are you doing? You can't do that! And you see what looks like a hippopotamus head on a good 10-foot tall body, just broad, bigger than an ogre in some ways, like the same height but bigger across. Has a bowler hat on and a cane in one hand, a bulldog, like a huge mastiff in the other, like holding onto the leash in the other hand, and is actually arguing with an ogre, who is talking in giant to it, whatever this thing is, and just arguing back and forth, and they start shoving each other as you're actually coming into the square here, which isn't a huge square, and there's not a whole lot of room.
So the hippo guy is arguing with
an ogre.
an ogre?
Yeah. Like, and the ogre is not, it like has a vest on and kind of what might be shorts, might be a kilt, you're not sure, and holding, like a lot of ogres do, a club. The hippo guy standing about the same height, but like I said, broader and with this huge hippopotamus head. The mastiff that it's holding back, looking tiny beside it as it's holding the leash, has also a vest on, but it's more of a waistcoat. Has like a button-up shirt under it, buttoned all the way to the top, with a skinny tie coming down, and some checkered slacks on.
Do I see anybody taking bets?
You see people kind of clearing to the sides.
I have 5 on the hippo.
Yeah, there's this odd-looking guy with kind of a flattened bat nose, yellowish skin, and these tall, kind of almost like yours, but almost taller ears come over to you and says, "I'll take that action."
Okay.
As they kind of start pushing back and forth between each other more.
Does it seem like does he seem like some sort of official? Like
Which one?
the hippo? Like,
No, it just seems to be.
he's not like he doesn't look like some sort of enforcer. He just seems to be
He's well dressed, but I mean, he's carrying a cane, which seems to have a round metal head on it. It looks like it might be carved with something, but you can't tell from there. And it has a dog, and is just kind of, they're pushing back and forth. It seems like the hippo is probably, just by strength and weight, pushing a little harder. It hasn't gotten to blows yet. But.
Are they in front? They're like in front of a place, or?
Yeah, you kind of came into this small square. It might be about 50 feet by 60 feet. It's just a little bit off square. Exact square. They're kind of doing this nearish to the middle, and there's a bunch of different stalls and shops that are around the edges of the square, some that are actually in buildings, others that are set up kind of outside of buildings along the street. There was a couple that were set up near the middle, although those people are kind of wheeling their things off as this kind of starts, and just kind of...
Do we want to...
We gotta stick around. I just put 5 on the hippo. I'm not gonna go anywhere.
God, Roland.
Make a history. Both of you make a history check.
History's not my strong point.
Based on the individual that made the bet with you.
Ooh.
I got a pretty dope history.
I got a 21.
Oh wow, okay.
I got a 13.
Okay. So I don't know that Chomp remembers this right away, as you weren't the one to make the bet. But Roland, you've heard a few things in your readings, as you were well educated by your noble, rich, shady parents. The individual that just made a bet with you is some type of gift.
What is a gift?
Specifically a Githzerai, you're pretty sure, just based on the clothing and the manner. The Gith being a race that was at some point enslaved by mind flayers.
Okay.
Broke free and then broke into 2 different factions. The Githzerai are the more kind of, you might say, laid back. There's a lot of monks in the Githzerai, and they tend to be more philosophical. The I can't remember the name of the other guy.
Githyanki.
Yankee tend to be more militaristic, and you don't get that idea from this person. Like you know this in theory. Like there's these other places that you know vaguely some things about crossing spaces between different worlds and things like that. And these people are one of the people who do things like that. But yes, as it kind of. So you're all watching, kind of standing off to the side?
Yeah.
I mean, I was all ready to just keep on moving, but if we got some skin in the game,
We got some
then
skin in the game,
I
yeah.
guess we'll hang out for a minute.
As you watch, the ogre just kind of roars something in giant.
And I
Which you
speak
speak.
giant, so I was curious as to
Which
if I
you-
could tell what's
You
going
can.
on here.
The ogre, as they're kind of shoving back and forth, seems to be complaining that they were cheated. And as this hippopotamus, make another history check, because it'll be easier to use the name if you know what it is.
I as a player,
Know what
remember
this
seeing
is.
these in an
Yeah.
article. Oh, that's better. So that history check gets me a 26.
Oh gosh.
Cool.
So you know that other individual is a GIF
Uh-huh.
with a TH. This individual you know as a GIF with 2 Fs.
Some people pronounce it GIF, but most everybody says GIF.
Deep breath. So they're known as a fairly easygoing, sometimes, but also militaristic. They like exploding things. Nobody has ever seen or heard of their home world, wherever that is, but they tend to travel the planescape, the different planes and the different crystal spheres, the different whatever, as mercenaries. They look like giant humanoid hippopotamuses.
Yeah, they're space hippos.
They're space hippos.
Great.
They love guns and explosives.
Great.
Cool. I'm glad I put my money on the right one.
Who did you put your money on?
The hippo head.
Okay.
But as it starts to like get a little bit more heated, the GIF throws a punch at the ogre, who kind of dodges back a little bit and just catches a little bit on the chin, and then comes back and tries to hit with a club. That's immediately like the dog kind of comes up and grabs the arm and starts trying to worry it, and there's a lot more pushing back and forth before the GIF just pushes the ogre towards you, the group of you. Could you all make a dex saving throw?
Natural 20. Finally.
Alright. Crom's dex saving is +1.
And I think Crom also gets advantage for like against
Effects
things she
that
can
you can see
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so.
Reminds me when I was a kid. Yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
And I was in Japan, and they had sumo wrestlers come in. Now, keep in mind, I'm a little kid. So, can you imagine a little kid and have a big sumo breast with butt in your face?
Oh, yeah.
It was really frightening.
Very similar. These things are 10 feet tall, and you're like sitting about, around 6-ish.
By the way, they had rash, like road rash, like mat rash on their butt. I can remember that. I can picture it in my head.
Roland, what'd you get?
19.
19. Chomp, what'd you get?
Chomp got a 19,
Okay.
and Crom got a 10.
So, as you all are watching this happen, and this ogre butt just comes back into you as they're pushed back into you,
Can I trip
you're
him?
all kind of knocked a little bit. Crom trips and falls in. There was on the edge of this area, this kind of collapsed space with a little bit of like, it looks like almost police tape around it. And it said danger, basically, around it. And Crom is knocked through the tape and in and falls below the street level. You see not where.
I'm probably watching
Okay,
this
portal.
late. Can I
Crom
trip?
just gets pushed through
Uh,
an out of
Our
order
party is
portal.
getting smaller as well.
Can I trip the ogre by any chance?
I mean, you can try. Yeah,
All
while
right.
this is happening.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a.
Wait, didn't the ogre fell into us, right?
Yeah, but I'm gonna
They
try
did.
to. I'm
You
gonna
got
try
out of the way. At the same time, if you're trying to, like as they're going back, you can try to trip them. Make a something check. A dexterity check.
Saving throw or just regular?
Do you want to make this tricky or?
Yeah.
Then make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, good. All right. 23.
Yeah. As they're pushed back into you and Crom falls behind you,
Which
you
I
don't
don't
quite
notice,
you don't
okay,
quite
yeah.
notice, but you as the ogre kind of is pushed by the crowd as a whole back into the fray, you trip them and they fall, and the gif just brings their fist down, bam, on the top of their head, and they kind of slump to the side.
All right. And where's my other giffy friend?
The
page?
gif.
Yes, the gift.
The gif.
That owes me
The
5 gold.
Zare over to the side of you, looking over. You see they are trying to walk away. The
Oh,
crowd.
I still don't notice Crumb is down. I'm gonna go after that. I'm just gonna. Can I reach him easily? Or if y'all all started yelling that that I'm gonna turn around and pay attention to what's going on.
Oh, I mean, I think in the fray, if you notice that he's trying to get away, I'm sure you would just dash over there.
I think
Yeah.
I would.
I mean, we're all just.
I mean, it's not too far. 15 feet, maybe.
Okay.
I'm gonna look in the pit,
Yes, I'm.
yeah, I think we're probably going to turn around and be like,
but I'm gonna hold on to something.
Both
I
of
don't
you
wanna fall
make
into the pit.
perception checks real quick. It is darker inside the pit.
Alright.
And so, grabbing the arm, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yes. What?
You owe me my 5 gold.
Takes out 5 gold.
Thank you, my friend.
15.
And now I'm gonna look around.
I got a 16.
Right, the two of you looking down in the pit. It's hard to see as it is getting darker now. You see, though, the kind of the outline of Crom down in this pit. It's a good 8-9 feet wide. You know, not quite as far across to where it starts near the building, but it looks like basically the road here has kind of almost collapsed into a sinkhole, to a hollow space underneath. Crom's about 20 feet down.
Okay. Well,
Is she moving?
Are you running
Or-
Crom's character? Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did say that I could speak for Crom.
Okay. In that case, Crom, landing down in the hole about 20 feet down, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. I'll put that on.
Yeah.
I got it here.
Oof.
And getting your wits about you, your eyes adjusting. Well, Crom has the monocle, so seeing in dark vision. You realize you've landed in something cold and wet. And putting your hand down into it, you realize it almost seems to move around your hand. And it's not quite wet, rather than gooey. Eyes adjusting even more, you see that there's bones around you, some larger than others, one looking as large as like a young dragon skull almost, another like some largish humanoid skull, others human-ish, others smaller, and they all start to move and almost come towards you.
Yeah.
As the goo around starts to form into, and the bones kind of start to link up with each other, bones that don't belong to each other within this goo start to build, now towering above Crom, who is like 8-9 feet tall. And this thing, its head almost, whatever it's constructing, almost reaches within about 30 seconds to the ceiling.
Thought I knew what was going on, but now I
It seems to be made of greenish goo and bones.
Okay.
And as Crom is just sitting there still, kind of half engulfed in this thing, it lets out this shrieking roar that seems to be come out of several of the skulls at once with different voices.
Oh, that's horrifying.
The rest of you hear this at the same time come out of the hole. Could you all make wisdom saving throws?
Oh boy. 3.
Is it against magic?
I mean, no.
Okay.
This is not against magic.
Wisdom save?
A wisdom save against a natural sound.
I wonder if I throw that up to a
23.
23.
9.
Crom saving throw is +2 on this. A 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Crom got a 14. And Chomp got a 21.
Okay, so Cirthus and Chomp save. Roland, you are frightened for the next minute and cannot. You cannot move closer to whatever this is until you are not frightened.
Okay.
You can make another saving throw at the end of another turn. Chomp, you saved, but Crom, could you roll for Crom real quick? A dexterity saving throw, which is +1.
Do I get advantage?
Nope.
All right, +1.
Wait, would you? Yeah, you see it, so yeah, you would. Yeah.
A little better. 17.
That fails. Crom is engulfed.
Oh no.
So is now.
Did Crom just get oozed? Oozed.
Crom takes 16 points of acid damage
Ooh, yeah.
and is now restrained.
Ooh,
So I'll put the damage in for you.
yeah.
16. Yeah, let's roll for initiative at this point. Everybody roll for initiative. Crom has advantage on initiative rolls. And +1.
But if Crom's restrained,
Still
or
has initiative.
okay, okay. Well, I didn't know if that like negated a
No, this was just a surprise
advantage
round.
or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't mean she can do anything. But yes.
So she gets, what did we say? Advantage on initiative,
Yes.
and her initiative bonus is,
+1.
so she got a 17, and Chomp got a 15.
17, Chomp 15. What'd you get, Roland?
14.
Ah, that works. Serious?
4.
That's so good.
9. Okay, so meaning it is Crom's turn at the top of the round. Crom is currently restrained, and
I think we might have got a little experiment. Maybe. When you roll a 4, there's a lot of shit that can change. But
this is very
Yeah, yeah. This is some stuff.
trying to figure out, we have, because you got to leave in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a choice here. We can leave this until next time, or we can try to continue it, but we're gonna lose people and we only got about a half an hour
I
left.
vote we leave it till next time.
I'll wait until next time?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. I put the damages into Crom's thing,
Okay.
which is at 83. Gotta remember that. But it's in, so as long as she doesn't change that,
Yeah.
that should be fine. And yeah, this is a fun thing I found online of a homebrew.
Yeah, this is an
Beast.
interesting little thing here.
It's an ooze beast,
Who's beast?
which I also modified after the fact.
I just said that I haven't been playing Roland nearly as correctly as he should be played. He's gonna be a lot more fun now.
Oh, a little.
A little more chaotic, or
Yeah, he's really, I mean, he's just been too nice and too subdued.
But yeah, this is where that's gonna happen.
Cool. Yeah, some like sewer,
Yeah.
sewer action here. That's one of the hippo.
Oh,
things.
how cool.
I always thought they were like cool as hell.
They're the
That is
coolest
cool as
thing,
hell.
and this is Doo's beast.
I would never play
It has many heads.
Yeah, it made more sense to put my money on the hippo.
Snot monster. Snot monster.
Yeah, when you were talking about like the gifts, like fist coming down and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
those hippo fists are just like
Yeah.
just the stump of a tree trunk just
And
coming
then,
down.
I mean, think of what his bite power would be like with those hippo teeth.
The big giant jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay.
Alright, now I just need to remember what I'm gonna do. Probably.
And I always thought of the
Again,
the
it'll probably
Githyanki and
change
stuff
because
that you made
I'm
the
so
bet
low
with.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Are like I always think of them as they're like
No, I don't want. I don't wanna do
goblin
that.
space
I don't want to be a
pirates.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a good way.